like now to focus on the in vitro diagnostic market, make a link to the point of care settings, and then a link to the technology. See how microfluidics can enable development in this market. So first of all, I would like to start with some definitions, and also to mention what the value of in vitro diagnostics is. In vitro diagnostic tests are tests that are done on samples such as blood, saliva, urine, or other tissues that have been taken from the human body. In vitro diagnostics are extremely valuable resources for disease prevention, detection, and management. And to appreciate their value, one should think that in vitro diagnostics influence more than 2/3 of clinical decision making, while accounting only for just a couple of percentage of the global healthcare spending. So they are an extremely valuable tool in healthcare. And in modern healthcare, in vitro diagnostics goes far beyond than just providing a diagnosis to a doctor, saying whether a patient has a certain disease or not, and what disease does the patient have. It also provides critical information at every step of the patient pathway. This is represented here in this image. From screening of the population to provide information on the predisposition of the population to get a certain disease, to prognosis, to predict the outcome of a specific disease, stratification, to make decisions, to help making decisions on what therapy for what group of patients, and finally for monitoring the outcome of the therapy. So basically, in vitro diagnostics is changing the way that healthcare is delivered to the public. And we see two main trends in vitro diagnostics, that are personalization and decentralization. So personalized medicine focuses on giving the right treatment to the right patient or group of patients at the right time. In traditional medicine, the same therapy is given to the whole population, and as a result, a few people will benefit from the therapy, a few people will not see any effect, and a few people will even experience adverse effects. So with personalized medicine, what happens is that different therapies are given to different groups of patients based on their genetic makeup, genetic and biological makeup, to be able to maximize positive effect of all therapies. And how does diagnostic come into this picture? Well, diagnostics, which for this application is called companion diagnostics, has a role in enabling stratification of patients. Diagnostic tests can be used to basically define the genetic and the biological makeup of patients, so that patient can be stratified into different groups and given the right medicines. The second trend of in vitro diagnostics is decentralization of healthcare. What we see is that in vitro diagnostic tests are moving from centralized laboratories to different point of care. Point of care can mean anything from near the patient bed in hospital, or in a small hospital lab next door to the patient bed, or to the general practitioner, and all the way to the home of the patient. To appreciate the different flavor of point of care testing, I have collected here a few examples of commercially available point of care tests, which are used in different point of care. All of them have a common feature, which rely basically on microfluidics. So they all work with microfluidics, and they go from handheld systems such as the Abbott iStat, which is a reference patient for patient bedside testing in hospitals. It's used for blood chemistry, cardiac biomarkers, so it runs some blood chemistry and some immuno test. It provides results in a couple of minutes and is used in 10,000 healthcare facilities globally, so it's very much used. But we also have systems such as the Gene Expert, which is also used at different point of care in the hospital, but also at the general practitioner in the express version, and it relies on molecular diagnostics. Another example that I find interesting to mention with this point of care in vitro diagnostic test is the MySeq diagnostics by Illumina. This system is the first FDA regulated CE IVD marked NGS platform which is used for in vitro diagnostic testing, and it relies on next-gen sequencing workflows, which typically we see in centralized laboratories and used for life science research applications. So again, once more in this slide, the main point is that point of care can mean many different things, and as such can mean many different requirements. So this diversity in type of in vitro diagnostic test also means that the relative level of needs for different type of in vitro diagnostic test may vary depending on the type of test, on the point of use, on the user. However, there are a few key customer needs that need to be met for an in vitro diagnostic test to be successful. And they are automation, which goes hand in hand with ease of use. That's what we also already saw a few slides ago. Platform performance. A new test needs to perform equally good or better than existing ones. Turnaround time, typically point of care tests need to be fast. And instrument consolidation, that's the holy grail of in vitro diagnostics, having one instrument which can run all sorts of different tests in cartridges that at least share the same footprint. Now, if we read these key customer needs next to the key enabling features of microfluidics, it becomes clear why microfluidics and microtechnologies has already been used for in the field of in vitro diagnostics for innovation. By miniaturizing and integrating functionalities and components, microfluidics enable automation. And they also offer a micro environment where an assay can be carried out with a high level of control. So let's now focus on microfluidic-based point of care tests. And I would like to start with an example to which, everybody can relate to, because it's about the current COVID-19 pandemic. On this slide, which was kindly shared by Yole Development, we can see a number of molecular tests based on microfluidics that are at different stages of development, targeting the SARS-CoV-2, which is the agent causing COVID-19, the COVID-19 infection. And this snapshot refers to 1.5 months ago. So I'm pretty sure that I'm already quite impressed by the number of microfluidic-based molecular diagnostic tests for point of care testing of the COVID-19 infectious agent. And I'm pretty sure that if now 1.5 months later we're going to take another snapshot, we will see that probably this graph gets even more populated. So the COVID pandemic has highlighted the need for rapid, actionable results at the point of care, which is not only true, in fact, for this target for the COVID-19, but it's true for an increasing number of test panels. Now, it seems that molecular diagnostics, molecular tests are key to obtain this rapid actionable results at the point of care. But this category of tests relies on workflows that are quite challenging to be transferred to microfluidic platforms. At least it used to be like that. However, due to the advances done in technology recently, and in particular the ability of combining multiple functionalities on a single cartridge to enable automation, it's this type of tests are making it to the market, and this is what we see also in this graph. Now, if we look a bit closer to the microfluidic-based point-of-need testing market, we see that the green part, molecular diagnostics, is already accounting for more than half of the market value today, and it's expected to grow to 70% of the market value in 2025, with the market value expected to be in 2025 to reach $10 billion.